Ako si Cristina Ampil, Managing Director ng Thought Leadership Institute sa PwC, isang accounting, tax at consulting services firm. Importante sa amin ang APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Taon-taon, bago ng APEC CEO Summit, sinusurvey namin lahat mga CEOs sa 21 ekonomiya na bumubuo ng APEC. Tinatanong namin sila kung anong pananaw nila sa kanilang ekonomiya at sa ekonomiya ng APEC. Alam mo, importante para sa APEC CEO Summit kung saan nakikita yung mga business leaders at government leaders na maging klaro kung ano ang gusto ng mga business leaders na mangyaring progress sa free trade o sa mga ekonomiya ng kanilang bansa. So, ang ginagawa ng PwC, nagpapadala ng email with a survey link. It's an online survey sa mga business leaders throughout the 21 economies. Tapos tinatanong, anong pananaw mo sa ekonomiya ninyo o ng APEC in the next 12 months or over the next 3 to 5 years? Are you increasing investment? Are you increasing headcount? And saan nanggagaling yung pananaw mo? Either kung optimistic or kung sa tingin mo may mga barriers sa paglago ng iyong business sa bansa. Yeah, so one of the most important things about APEC is it promotes free trade among the 21 economies. So, in the past 25 years, kasi 25th anniversary ng APEC this year, right? In the past 25 years, ang dami talagang nagawa ng APEC. Mabagal, pero over 25 years, sabihin mo, wow, mas maraming trade among the economies. So, ang maganda nun, babantayan mo anong mga kailangan gawin pa para mag-progress ang trade. So, for example, tinanong namin sa kanila, anong gusto niyo bilang mga business leaders at CEOs? Anong gusto niyo isipin ng mga government leaders? So, sinabi nila sa amin, trade in services. Hindi lang trade in goods and products, right? Kundi yun naman trade in architecture, consulting, banking, services. Gusto rin ng mga business leaders yung tinatawag na harmonization of standards. So, for example, product labeling na iisang rule for labeling products kahit anumang ekonomiya. Hindi yung iba-ibang rules kasi very costly yon for a business. Imagine mo, label on your product, right? Na 21 different ways. So, to harmonize means say isang rule for product labeling, importante sa kanila yon. Isa pang convergence in tax rules and accounting rules kasi anything that is not harmonized is very costly. You have to do things over many times. So yun ang isa pang gusto nila. Yung tariffs o tinatawag ng mga customs or duties sa mga products and services, alam mo, marami ng progress doon. So ngayon, ang gusto ng mga business leaders, pag-usapan yung gaano katagal na nakaupo yung products and services na nag-aantay ng approval para pumasok, right? Yun. Kasi the longer that product sits on the port, that means hindi nabibenta. So gusto ng mga business leaders na bilisan as much as possible, right? Going very efficient. One of the programs is what it's called a Trusted Trader Program. Kumbaga, kung ikaw bilang business, pwede kang matrust, ibig sabihin, you file the right papers, tama yung sinasabi mo, wasto, totoo, na maging trusted trader ka, na yung mga produkto mo, mas mabilis dumaan through customs. So, yan ang isang paraan para ma-facilitate yung trade. So, yun ang mga tinatanong namin sa kanila. Right? So, for freer trade in the APEC 21 economies, anong kailangan pag-isipan ng mga leaders ng nations? Anong kailangan nilang pag-usapan among themselves? At APEC is a really great, itong CEO Summit, kung saan yung mga business leaders at mga government leaders nagsasama-sama. This is the time, right, to talk and discuss and say, anong pwede natin pagtulungan na gawin para sa next few years. Alam mo, ang APEC hindi lang para sa mga malalaking businesses, mga small and medium enterprises, importante rin na malaman nila kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng APEC. Paano nila pinapadali ang pag-set up ng business. For example, paano nila pinapadali na huwag masyadong mataas ang tax para sa mga produkto na papasok sa ibang nation. Isa sa mga pinag-uusapan ngayon ay tinatawag na digital trade. Kasi maraming opportunities ang small and medium enterprises pag meron kang access to a computer, meron kang magaling mag-design ng website mo, right? Para mapakita mo yung mga produkto, pwede kang madiscovery outside the Philippines. Nakikita ko na ngayon yun. Meron isang, isang business, for example, na isang kakilala ko na pinagmamasdan ko, mahilig siya sa mga textiles na gawa ng mga women in Cebu, and very artistic and well-designed website na ngayon na-catch ng attention sa US, who are looking at mga retailers looking for authentic and women-produced, small business and women-produced artistic things. And so, because she's able to set up a website, well-designed and well-promoted kung saan siya mahahanap, magiging importante sa kanya lahat ng mga pag-uusapan ng digital trade, to allow people to access, right, the internet, to see what's available in different economies, and to be able to actually do a transaction. Sa ngayon, di pa ako pwedeng bumili. Marami akong gustong bilhin dun sa pero ngayon dahil sa may limitasyon sa digital trade, kailangan ko ng kaibigan na kunin sa kanya from Cebu at dalhin sa akin sa United States. Ngayon, imagine mo, pagka naging mas bukas ang digital trade, right? Yung mga maliliit na businesses, yung mga nananahinang ng damit, yung mga gumagawa ng magagandang bag para sa iPads, right? At nalagay nila dun sa website, lalago ang kanilang business, hindi lang sa mga Pilipino na nakakapunta dun sa store sa Cebu, but throughout the region. Alam mo, marami ako nakikita mga businesses, for example, sa Pilipinas na importante sa kanila na i-support yung mga indigenous people, right? Yung, alam mo, yung mga handicraft ng paggawa ng banig, yung mga from weaving palm, and may chance kung meron kang computer, may website, meron kang connection into the rest of the world. Importante talaga yung mga pag-uusapan this year 2014, dahil the past 25 years have seen the most agreements about free trade. Bumaba ang mga tariffs tsaka taxes, at lumago at China was growing at an average rate of 8%, and the Philippines as well, and the ASEAN nations. So the period of easy growth is a little bit over. So the challenge now is how are you going to grow? How is China going to continue to grow? Its growth will slow down a bit. Mature economies are going to recover a little bit, but the period of easy growth is done. And where will most of the growth come from? It will come from greater integration among the 21 economies. So 3 things that are important. Infrastructure development in each of the 21 economies is going to be important. But sabi nga ni Doris Magsaysayho, who is an APEC member, nung in-interview namin siya, importante na pag-isipan ng infrastructure hindi lang within each of the economies, pero paano sila magko-connect. So yung theme ng connectivity, greater connectivity among the 21 nations, magiging importante for greater trade in services and digital trade. So another important thing this year, and you'll hear a lot about it at the APEC Summit, is talent. That is the one thing that we have a lot of in this region, right? And we also have in the Philippines particularly the demographic dividend. Marami tayong young people who are entering the workforce. And it's important that education, the educational system, is going to help them to be prepared for engaging in this more complex world. First of all, be tech savvy and use all the digital tools and technologies that are available to them, and also be you must aware, you know, not just of the local developments but of world developments. Kasi dun mo lang makita kung ano yung mga oportunidad, you know, in the APEC region tsaka the rest of the world. And I think the Philippines is actually, I'm quite impressed, you know, sitting where I do in New York City. I'm very impressed when I'm connected with many friends in Facebook. Hindi nahuhuli ang Pilipinas, right? Sa connectivity, sa spread of ideas. We have a lot of Filipinos who make up a big portion of the workforce in Silicon Valley, the workforce in Hollywood, right? So in terms of talent, meron. I'm very impressed with entrepreneurs, Filipino entrepreneurs who come to New York and sell the Filipino talent. I'm on the board of the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce in New York, and I'm impressed with the young blood who know how to represent our country well, you know, in IT services, but beyond BPO, you know, so I'm very impressed with that. But that's, you know, I think continuous development and continuous support of these entrepreneurs, basically for the government to just get out of the way and let them do what they need to do quickly and efficiently, and let them be connected, let them be able to make the investments, you know, efficiently and smoothly. I think it's exciting that the Philippines will get to host next year's APEC CEO Summit. You know, last year in our survey, when we asked about which economies business leaders were looking at, the Philippines got special mention because of the effect that people have felt from the anti-corruption efforts of President Aquino. I think it's palpable. They see that. And this year we asked, well, in the different economies where you already have a footprint, are you increasing or decreasing investment? And in the Philippines, 47% of those who are already in the Philippines said they are further increasing. So that's 47% increasing investment further. So there's kind of optimism and exuberance about the Philippine economy and the people. So it's an exciting time to celebrate, I think, the past few years and the effects of the anti-corruption efforts, yung tuwid na daan, and to be able to say, welcome world to resurgent Philippines, and have them feel and experience what it feels like to be with talented Filipinos. In many, many fields. I'm sure in entertainment that we will see that in culture and in business. The APEC leaders, hindi sila titigil hanggang meron silang free trade in the Asia-Pacific region. So, ngayon, maraming iba't ibang agreements na ginagawa bilaterally, you know, between two nations. Meron ring among groups of nations and economies in APEC, ASEAN, RCEP, TPP, right? So, alam mo, sabi ng mga business leaders sa amin, magulo ba yun? Maraming iba-iba. Nung binilang namin, there are over 100 agreements na ginagawa. Pero mainam yun. Kasi yung ginagawa ng bawat agreement, pinupush ang free trade a little farther. Hanggang multilaterally, mas maraming nations ang handa for the higher standards, right? So, yung vision ng free trade is something that will be work in progress for many, many years, right? And so, hindi matatapos ang trabaho, inch by inch, you know, by setting a higher standard for what free trade means. And yung Trans-Pacific Partnership, tinatawag na TPP, yan ang highest standard ng trade agreement ngayon. Para makapasok ng TPP, marami ka talagang, ang bansa, maraming kailangan gawin. So, hindi magagawa yan in a few years. It's gonna stretch over maybe a decade. But any agreement that works on making trade smoother between nations is a step along the way. Not just for APEC, by the way, but for the world. So ang World Trade Organization keeps on working almost on the same things that need to improve. Yung tinatawag nating trade in services, yung harmonization of standards, yung tinatawag na trade facilitation. Yung World Trade Organization, nagtatrabaho din doon. TPP has 11 nations, economies within APEC that are working on that high standard. So, all these are working towards progress. Dapat ganun natin tingnan itong more than 100 agreements na nangyayari among the economies in the region. Dati, nung hindi pa ako involved sa APEC, iniisip ko, siguro yun yung mga trade ministers lang na nag-uusap-usap amongst themselves na, nagsasign ng mga trade agreements. Hindi ko alam na meron palang koneksyon sa buhay ng mga citizens. Ang payo ko sa mga pumupunta sa APEC CEO Summit, it's really a chance to connect on a personal level. So, of course, the heads of state will connect, right? The trade and foreign ministers will connect with each other. The delegates will also connect. It's a chance na makilala natin kung sino yung mga tao sa ibang ekonomiya, sa ibang bansa. Chance rin na ipakita natin kung anong kultura natin, kung anong mga values natin, anong mga importante sa atin. Ang free trade rests really on better relationships among peoples, right? Relationships of trust, relationships of respect for each other's capabilities, and shared histories. So going to the APEC Summit is a way to be with others and learn. And so I would say reach out to others, come away with phrases in different languages. Try to speak and reach out to them in their language is one thing, and also try to understand saan sila nanggagaling, right? So sa mga issue na, for example, digital trade or intellectual property, saan nanggagaling yung mga galing sa China? Anong pananaw nila at bakit ganon? This is a chance to understand different views. And so when you go back and think about, business decisions you have to make, ang pananaw mo mas malawak kesa dun sa anong gusto mo o anong nakikita mo. And hopefully it leads to better decisions for you personally and also for your business.